Do you want to get good at Arc Raiders PvP? I have some simple tips that will help you go from this.
Right. Wait, how am I
Down there.
throwing a trigger nade?
To this.
Oh, back up. Hey. Right to your left.
Nice. So stick around because we're going to go through it all. We're going to go through graphics settings, audio settings, control settings, even simple tips to just help you play better. Alright, so first things first, before we hop into some actual gameplay elements that you can improve upon in Arc Raiders, we're going to hop into our settings and tweak some things slightly because there are some settings in this game that can give you an advantage over other players. The first setting we are going to change relates to our audio. In extraction shooters, audio is one of the most important things. Being able to hear your opponent before they hear you is one of the greatest advantages you will have in Arc Raiders. This setting that we are looking for is called night mode. So we're going to go into our settings, hop over to audio, and we're going to see this selection called night mode. And what night mode does is it changes the way you hear audio in Arc Raiders. We're going to make sure that night mode is turned on. And what night mode does is it will change the different volumes of the noises in the game. It'll make certain noises that are normally loud, such as gunshots, explosions, and whatnot, quieter than the other noises in the game. And what this also does is it increases the volume of the more quieter noises in the game, such as your footsteps, most importantly. And what this allows you to do is it allows you to hear other more crucial information audio, such as your footsteps, over the explosions, the gunshots, and all the other things. This gives us a massive advantage over our other raiders because we will be able to hear their footsteps while they're only being able to hear our gunshots. Another setting we're going to look at involves our graphics. So we're going to go over to our gameplay controls. We're going to head over to graphics. We're going to want to put our foliage setting all the way down to low. So in Arc Raiders, you can set your foliage to cinematic, epic, high, medium, or low. The most important thing you can set it to is putting that to low, because what this does, if you look closely, when I set this to higher settings, it adds more different pieces of grass, bushes, all this extra junk that will in fact clutter your screen and make it more difficult for you to see other players. So what we're going to want to do is make sure that foliage is turned down to the lowest setting possible, which is low. And what this does, as you can see, the before and after is night and day. There's much less bushes, much less grass, much less trees. All these other trees are more see-through. And what this does is it allows you to see players that are hiding in bushes. So if I come over here and I try to sit in this bush, and I have my foliage on low, it looks like this. But if I go into my settings and turn my graphics foliage back up more, as you can see, the difference in the bush changes. The bush becomes a lot more thick, the bush becomes a lot more vibrant, and what this does is it hides other raiders. This will make it much more easier for you to see other players if you turn your foliage down to low. The final thing we're going to do in our settings is completely personal preference and entirely up to you. Don't feel like you have to change this. This is just what's been working for me and for my friends after I've been showing them this binding. So for this binding, we're going to hop into our settings and we're going to go over to our controls. And in Arc Raiders, there is a dive roll movement ability. And what many people bind this to is buttons on their keyboard. So I think the default binding is the Alt key. But what I did is I binded the dodge roll key to my front thumb mouse button. So this button right here. And what this allows me to do is it allows me to dive roll without taking any of my fingers off of where they should be on my keyboard. So I don't have to move my thumb off my spacebar to hit alt. I don't have to move any of my fingers off WASD or my pinky off my shift key. I can just dive roll and keep aiming around while I can loot around corners, so I can shoot, look, and dive roll without having to take my left hand off my keyboard anywhere. Again, this setting is entirely personal preference and it's entirely up to you, but I feel like it's just what helps me the best, and it helps me shoot, it helps me move around faster, and it has helped my friends as well. So feel free to change this to this, feel free not to, that's entirely up to you. Now those are just some settings that I like to personally change to tailor my experience and my gameplay. Again, the last setting is entirely up to you, but I do believe that those first two settings, the audio and graphics, will make you a better Arc Raiders PvP player. If you guys want to see a more in-depth settings guide, graphics, controls, audio, anything like that, leave a like on this video and comment that you want to see that, and I'll try to make it happen. Alright, so our first gameplay tip to help you improve in Arc Raiders is actually going to relate to how you interact with the things around the map, such as zip lines. In Arc Raiders, there are many instances where very long vertical zip lines will need to be used to reach higher areas. And most people in this game are using these zip lines completely wrong. The average player will just simply run up to the zip line, hit E, and they do this really long, slow animation to get you up to speed. There's a faster way to do this. So the fastest way to skip that animation and get up the zip line as fast as possible goes like this. You want to make sure that you're sprinting, jump, look up, and it completely skips that slow animation, gets you right back to max speed, and gets you to where you need to be much faster. So again, that zipline animation skip is sprint, jump, run, and look up. So my main goal for this guide video is to make sure that you guys can squeeze as much advantage as you can out of the game to make sure that you are winning more fights in Arc Raiders PvP situations. And in this game, one of the easiest things you can take advantage of is the third-person camera. The way you're able to take advantage of this third-person camera is Arc Raiders allows you to switch what shoulder the camera is following. To take full advantage of this, you want to make sure that this action is binded to a button on your keyboard or mouse that you are able to hit comfortably and quickly. What switching your shoulder allows you to do is it allows you to hide and be able to see things and your opponents when they can't necessarily see you. So for instance, when I'm hiding on this side of this piece of metal and my camera's on my right shoulder, that's going to cause a problem because I can't see to my left. But if I just hit my bind, I can now see over my left shoulder and allows me to see who may be on the other side of this wall, and they might not be able to see me. The same can be said for on the other side. If I have my camera on my left shoulder and I'm hiding behind something like this, I just want to hit the bind and switch to my right shoulder, and now I'm once again able to see what's on the other side. My favorite button to bind the shoulder switch key to is actually, once again, my mouse button. I have my shoulder switch key on my rear mouse button, so I can easily hit it without taking my hand off any of my other binds. With Arc Raiders, it's important to note that your position matters a lot. In my opinion, your position will win or lose you fights. So it's important you take steps to make yourself be in the better position than your opponent whenever you can. Whether that's switching your shoulder frequently, going up and down zip lines a lot faster, or bringing a lot of stims. Speaking of stims, it's very important that in Arc Raiders you understand how the consumables, shield, and health mechanics work. So the way shields work in this game is it's not like Fortnite or Apex or any other battle royales or other games that have shields. In those cases, you have a shield bar and a health bar, and those work separately and independently. You have your shield bar until that breaks, and then you will start taking damage to your actual white health bar. Where Arc Raiders is different from those games is Arc Raiders shields reduce damage instead of blocking it fully. So for example, the green light shield is only a 40% damage reduction to your white health bar. This is important because you should always prioritize your white health bar over your shield bar in Arc Raiders. So in Arc Raiders, you want to make sure that you heal your white health first, and while that's going, pop a shield recharger to heal your shields too. Another tip pertaining to your health bar and shields is after every engagement, before you go loot, make sure you heal up. There's been happened so many times where me and my friends, we just go right to the loot, right to the juice, right to the goop, whatever you want to call it, and we get shot in the back third party because we have no health. Make sure after every encounter, the first thing you do is heal back up your health and your shields. And there you have it. Those are all the tips and tricks that I know and I use personally to get every advantage that I can in Arc Raiders PvP. If you have any tips of your own, please feel free to share them in the comment section down below. And if you like this video, please leave a like and maybe even subscribe for more Arc Raiders content. That's all for now. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.